What is it that you need to do in order to stand out in your field?
Of any business or background.
If you're looking to start an online business,
you needed one thing.
This is where you start, guys.
.com Secrets.
.com Secrets.
It's .com Secrets.
.com Secrets is the book.
USA Today bestseller.
By Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson.
By Russell Brunson.
Creator of ClickFunnels.
This guy knows his stuff. This book is flat out amazing.
If you're new to online marketing or you need a refresher,
you're going to want to pick this book up.
It will change the way that you think about your business.
You need to own this book.
It will teach you how to create your offers.
Building your own email list.
I'm interested.
This book literally tells you how to go to a competitor, steal their traffic, and use it for your own.
Wow.
How to put together a funnel.
what your niche?
Now that makes sense to me.
There's just so much information.
It's actually a free book.
This is a really, really powerful book.
This book,
.com Secrets by Russell Brunson.
This is a must-have. You need to own it.
So you can amplify and transform your life and your business today.
That's right. Welcome welcome all to another episode of the Business Building Book Club. I'm your host, Coach Molly from Three Pines Leadership, and thank you so much for joining me for this episode. You can get your free copy of the book that we're going to be going through in this season of the book club. You can get it for free. All you have to do is pay for shipping. So if you head on over to leadershipmade.com/DCS, you can get your free copy of Russell Brunson's .com Secrets, the underground playbook for growing your company online with sales funnels. Once we get through the next couple chapters of this book, we're going to be diving into the second book of Russell Brunson's Secrets trilogy, and that is going to be Expert Secrets, which you can get for free as well. But check back next episode, and then I will give you the link for that book. It's fantastic, and the two books work so well together that Russell even ended up creating the third book in the trilogy, which we will also get to later on, and they work so well together. They complement each other. But .com Secrets and Expert Secrets, those were the first two books. Those were the original two, and they complement each other so well. Expert Secrets doesn't you only get about 50% value out of it unless you've gone through the work that you're learning here in .com Secrets. And the same thing here. .com Secrets, the stuff you're learning here is going to be almost useless unless you start applying the stuff that you're going to be learning in Expert Secrets. So these two seasons are going to go hand in hand. They're going to complement each other so well. So make sure you get your copy today. leadershipmade.com/DCS. Make sure as well, while you're at it, you connect with me on all of my different social platforms. Let me know how you're implementing these skills, these ideas. What do your funnels look like? Send them my way. I will give you all of my feedback. I love checking out other people's funnels. So much fun. And I'll give you all of the hints, all of the tips, all of the ideas, be it your sales funnels, your lead funnels, your presentation funnels, your unboxing funnels, your webinar funnels, your challenge funnels, your summit funnels. It doesn't matter. Let me know. Let me see them. I'd love to give you some ideas of how we can make them better. Even your follow-up funnels. I love follow-up funnels these days. So check on over all of my social platforms over there. Check me out. Get in touch. I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, so today we're getting into secret number 6, which is the 7 phases of a funnel. So I'm just going to jump in and read this one to you. Next week will be our last episode for this series, but you'll have to check back next week for how I'm going to be covering the front-end funnels, the unboxing funnels, presentation funnels, and back-end funnels. It'll be kind of interesting, kind of fun. All right, so 7 phases of a funnel. Secret number 6. This is page 94 in the new book, so make sure you get your copy today. Growing up, one of my favorite stores was GNC. I loved supplements, and I loved going into the stores and reading the labels to see what each one could do for me. I would often spend hours in the store trying to decide, of all the supplements in there, which one was the one that I wanted to try the most. I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to make sure that I got the perfect product for me on that trip. The only thing that I hated about GNC is every time I would walk in the door, the person who worked there would run up to me and say, "Hi, welcome to GNC. Can I help you with anything?" I never knew how to answer that question, and it always made me feel uncomfortable. Oftentimes, I would wait outside until the salesperson was talking to someone else, and then I would sneak in and try my best to avoid eye contact. I'm not sure if it's because I'm an introvert or just because I'm obsessed with marketing and sales processes, but I remember thinking that if that person working would just ask me a different question, I wouldn't have felt so uncomfortable and I would have likely spent more time there. As I grew older, I used to notice the process that different businesses would take me through and how I felt at each step. For instance, when I went to a hotel, how was I greeted? Where did they take me to get my hotel key? How did I get from the lobby to my hotel room? Did they have a bellhop take me on that journey? Were there clear instructions, or did I get lost trying to find my room through the maze of the hotel? What was my experience at each step of the process? Some hotels made me feel special, while others left me wishing for more. I noticed the sales process everywhere, such as how servers at restaurants would interact with me, how phone calls would go when I called to change my cable or phone providers, and even the people I met throughout the day. I became increasingly sensitive to how I felt at each step inside of any process that I stepped into. When I started to buy things online, I was even more sensitive to how I felt. Sometimes the sale process or funnel they took me through was frictionless. Other times I had to jump through so many hoops, I usually ended up just walking away from the purchase, even though I really wanted the thing I had come there to buy. As I started to sell my own products and services online, I became obsessed with my customers' journey. How did they feel when they saw one of my ads? And what made them want to click on it? When they hit the landing page, what was the experience like? And what happened at each of the phases I took them through? The more aware I was of how someone was probably feeling at each step, the better I could craft messages and the process to help move them through the sale. The better you can make them feel at each step in the process, the more likely they are to keep progressing through your funnels. So now let's talk about the 7 phases of the funnel. After more than a decade of building funnels, I've decided that there are 7 core phases that take every visitor through when they come into our world. The better you understand each of these phases, the focus on how your customers will feel when they are in each step, the more success you will have. Earlier, we talked about the difference between a website and a funnel. And I told you that one of the rules of direct response marketing is a confused mind always says no. As you're looking at each of these phases, notice that on each step, I'm only asking them to do one thing. Each step will typically have its own hook to grab their attention, its own story to build perceived value, and its own core offer, or one call to action. If you try to get them to do more than one thing at each step, you'll essentially be putting up a brick wall in your funnel that will stop most people from progressing. My goal is to make this customer journey through the 7 phases of a funnel as frictionless as possible. And it all starts with thinking about what your goal is for each step of the funnel. Then craft your hook, story, and offer around that one thing. It's all about the pre-frame. In the book Sway, The Irresistible Pull of Irrational Behavior by Ori and Ram Brofman, I read about a fascinating study that took place at MIT demonstrating the pre-frame principle in action. They tell a story about a class of 70 economics students who were told that they would have a substitute teacher for the day. Since this professor was new, each student was to read a short biography of the teacher. The bios that were handed out to all of the students were identical except for one phrase. All of the bios praised this teacher's graduate work in economics and listed various fabulous accomplishments. Then half of the bios described the professor as a really warm person, while the other half described him as rather cold. That was the only difference. One phrase. After the lecture, each student was asked to fill out a survey to see how they liked the teacher. The ones who received the warm bio said they loved him. They said that he was good-natured, considerate of others, and sociable. The students who received the cold bio didn't like him at all. They said he was self-centered, formal, irritable, ruthless, etc. These students all sat through the same lecture, but the pre-frame changed their perception of what they witnessed. This study is such a cool example of the pre-frame principle at work. Before we talk about the 7 phases of a funnel, you need to understand the concept of a pre-frame because each step of a funnel is a pre-frame for the next step. It's essential to optimize these steps, not only for monetization, but also to build relationships and get visitors to continue to buy from you. Someone they know and trust. One big mistake many marketers make is focusing 100% on short-term conversions or monetization. They sell so aggressively, focused on the sale at hand, that they lose the respect of their customers. This mistake will cost you in the long-term relationship that can be worth 10 times as much money made through the initial point of contact. A pre-frame is simply the state you place someone in as they enter the next step of your sales funnel. Changing the frame you take someone through can profoundly change the answer to a question or to the experience they will have in the next step. My first internet marketing mentor was a guy named Mark Joyner. I remember him saying that not all clicks are created equal. That struck me as odd because business owners always talk about traffic and how to get more clicks to their website, not a certain type of click. Wasn't a click just a click? But Mark made me understand that what really matters most is the frame that someone goes through before they actually get to your funnel. He even went so far as to say that often the frame people enter your website through is usually even more important than what you actually say on that page when they get there. He used me as an example. Consider a person came from a website that said Russell Brunson is a scam artist. He stole my money, he's unethical, he's a liar, and I don't trust him. Click here to see his new product. What do you think will happen when they click through to see the product? The pre-frame was terrible. The visitor would probably not like me, and I would have a hard time getting them to buy anything. On the other hand, what if the person came from a site that said, Russell is an amazing person. I had a chance to meet him. We talked for an hour, and what he taught me changed my business and my life. My company was able to go from nothing to $1 million in revenue in a year. Click here to see his new product. The chances of converting that potential customer on my site are much, much higher. I can sell more if the visitor enters my website through a good pre-frame. The frame through which he enters my website completely changes what can happen on the page. So the trick is to figure out how to control the frame that your traffic is coming through. The first time I really understood this principle was a few minutes before I got on stage to speak at Armand Morin's big seminar. I was backstage talking to Armand, and he told me that after speaking at hundreds of events, he noticed that the number one thing that would affect his sales after the presentation was tied directly to how the event's promoters introduced him before he came on stage. He joked about how bad MCs were and how they could read our name and bio off a card, and then we'd have to come up and speak. And he told me that if you take control of your introduction, your pre-frame before people hear you speak, it will change everything. As this was Armand's event, he told me, watch how I introduce you, and then let's see what percentage of the room buys your products when you're done. Typically, I would close about 15% of the room on my $1,997 course that I would sell at the end of my presentation. During this event, after Armand introduced me and I delivered my presentation, I ended up closing over 42% of the people who were in the room. Same presentation, same offer, same price point, different pre-frame. I became so obsessed with my pre-frame that I actually made a video that was crafted to give me the perfect pre-frame. And I made all MCs introduce the video, and then I'd let the video deliver the perfect pre-frame every time. I rarely ever closed less than 40% of the room from that point forward. I now use this lesson of pre-framing on every step of my funnel. Each page has its own hook, story, and offer, but it's also serving as the pre-frame for the next step. That's why it's so essential to really understand this concept and master it in all of your funnels. As you go through my funnels on other people's, notice how the good funnels successfully create a pre-frame that makes you more likely to say yes in the next step. So here are the phases. So phase number 1, determine traffic temperature. When most people build a funnel, they start with the landing page. But I've found that there are critical steps before the visitor even gets to the landing page that have a huge effect on how well your funnels perform. There are 3 levels of traffic that can come into your website: hot, warm, and cold. Each group needs special treatment and individualized communication. Each needs to come across a different bridge to arrive at your landing page. Yes, that means you may even need 3 different landing pages depending on how you're driving traffic. But trust me, it's worth the extra time to set this up correctly. Here's a quote from Eugene Schwartz that helped me to understand the different traffic temperatures and how you must communicate differently with each type. If your prospect is aware of your product and has realized it can satisfy his desire, your headline starts with the product. If he's not aware of your product, but only of the desire itself, your headline starts with the desire. If he's not yet aware of what he really seeks, but is concerned with all the general problem, your headline starts with the problem and crystallizes it into a specific need. You have to figure out where your prospect is along the product awareness continuum. Problem aware, solution aware, or product aware. Where they are determines the temperature of the traffic. Hot traffic is made up of people who already know who you are and what products you sell. They know what their problem is, they're aware of all possible solutions, and they're also aware of the products you offer to help them solve their problems. They are all on your email list. Subscribe to your podcast, read your blog, follow your Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to your YouTube channel. Because you have an established relationship with them, you're going to talk to these people like your friends because you are. You want to use personality-driven communication through the attractive character. Warm traffic consists of people who don't know you yet, but they're aware of other potential solutions to their problems. When you read Traffic Secrets, I talk about your Dream 100, or the people who have already congregated your dream customers. They are your warm traffic. You just need to make them aware of your solution to their problems. These are usually the subscribers, fans, and followers of other people who are already in your market. Cold traffic is made up of people who have a problem, but they aren't even aware yet of the potential solutions. They are typically the hardest to find and convert because they haven't yet congregated with others who's in your market yet. Most of your traffic efforts will be to warm traffic, but as you grow, there will come a point where you'll have to learn how to tap into cold traffic and create customers as opposed to moving them from another solution to yours, like you do with warm traffic. After you've identified this type of traffic, you're going to focus on your particular funnel. The next step is to set up the pre-frame bridge to capture and warm up that traffic before they get to your landing page. So the phase 2 of the funnel is to set up your pre-frame bridge. The second phase in your pre-frame bridge, this could be an ad, a video, an email, or an article. It's a bridge that frames people before they get to your landing page. Different types of traffic need different bridges. A hot traffic bridge is typically very short. You already have a relationship with these people, so you don't have a lot of credibility building or pre-framing. You can probably just send out a quick email with a link to your landing page and that's about it. Or you can write a blog post or record a podcast encouraging people to check out your offer. These people will listen and do as you suggest simply because they already know, like, and trust you. A warm traffic bridge is a little longer than a hot traffic bridge, but not much. If you're targeting your warm traffic on any of the social platforms, you can often use a video to bridge the gap between where they are on someone else's fan page or watching a YouTube video and where you want to take them. For example, if I have an ad that's targeting Tony Robbins' audience on Facebook, I may have a video talking about how I learned the concept of growth and contribution from Tony, and that I have a book that I will show you how you can take all the things you're learning and start contributing by creating a business. I would then guide them into a funnel where they could buy expert secrets. Do you see how that works? The pre-frame bridge speaks to them where they are now and gives them the context they need so that they understand why they need your product or service. A cold traffic bridge is the longest type of bridge. With warm traffic, I'm just showing them a solution to their problems. With cold traffic, often I have to help them even know that they have a problem. I'm not moving customers from one congregation to another. I'm creating a customer out of thin air. For hot and warm traffic, the ad generally serves as the pre-frame. There's usually not much of a need for extra steps before those people understand your offer, but for cold traffic, you often need a whole separate page that they go through. We call this a bridge page, before they hit the landing page. As I just explained, this separate pre-frame bridge page educates people, enabling them to better appreciate the offer and making them more likely to convert. I used to own a company that sold supplements to help with neuropathy pain. We had our own customer list, hot traffic, that we would send emails to, and they would reorder just by us reminding them that they should. We would then target people who suffered from neuropathy, warm traffic, on other social channels to let them know about our new groundbreaking product that was the answer to their problems. It was easy to get this warm traffic, at least to give us a try and become a customer. But then we bought ads to people who didn't know that they had neuropathy. Many people know that they have nerve pain, but have never heard the word neuropathy. So our cold traffic offer helps people with nerve pain, a simpler, more relatable term. My pre-frame page states that if you have nerve pain, it's probably caused by neuropathy. The page goes on to explain a bit about the unfamiliar term. Then when the visitor gets to the funnel's landing page, all the language suddenly makes sense. They now understand what nerve pain is due to neuropathy, and our supplements can help. What happens when we do that? Our universe of potential customers expands exponentially. If you can create a cold traffic bridge that will create cold traffic and warm it up for you, your potential to grow your company dramatically goes up. Whatever product you're selling, it's critical that you match your message to your traffic's temperature and knowledge. This awareness will help you determine the kind of bridge required to take them to the landing page. Phase number 3, qualify subscribers. The whole goal here is to take all the hot traffic, the warm traffic, and the cold traffic, and find out who is willing to give us an email address in exchange for more information. This is known as subscribing to a list. If people aren't willing to give their email address at this point, they're highly unlikely to give me money later. Qualifying subscribers is done through an opt-in or squeeze page that offers something of value in return for contact information. This is typically the very front end of your value ladder. For my companies, it's usually a free report or a free video showing the visitor one thing that they would really want to know. Let's say I have 1,000 visitors who come to my site each day. If I have a 30% conversion rate, then I know that I have about 300 people who will be interested in my information. Now I have a list of warm leads and I can continue to move them through the rest of my funnel. Phase number 4, qualify your buyers. Immediately after you qualify your subscribers, you want to find out who among them is a buyer. How many of these 300 people who were interested in getting free information are willing to pull out their credit cards and make a purchase? Notice I said that you must find your potential buyers immediately after you qualify your subscribers. Don't wait a day or a week. Qualify buyers right away. My early mentor, Dan Kennedy, taught me this golden principle. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer. If someone is willing to buy from you once, they'll continue to buy from you as long as you keep offering value. So as soon as someone fills out their name and email address and clicks the submit form, they should land on a sales page that offers them your first premium offer. I typically sell very low ticket products here, at the range being free, that they could just cover the shipping and handling costs, to somewhere in the $7 to $10 range. I like the offer to be extremely inexpensive so I can find out who all my buyers are. Who is willing to put out a credit card in exchange for something I'm selling? I want to know who those people are, because if they are willing to buy something, then I'm willing to spend more money to market to them. I might be willing to call those buyers on the phone, send them a postcard or a letter in the mail, or make them special offers that I don't send to just my subscriber list. At this point, I have 2 lists, subscribers and buyers. Each list is unique and gets treated differently. Phase 5, identify hyperactive buyers. If you've identified the buyers, you want to identify the hyperactive buyers. These are your dream customers who are willing to pay more money to solve their problems now. I'm a self-proclaimed hyperactive buyer in the markets that I'm passionate about. Let me tell you a quick story to illustrate how many of the people who come into your funnels work. A little while ago, I decided to take some of my employees bowling. Now, bowling happens to be my third favorite sport behind wrestling and jiu-jitsu. All three are markets that I spend time congregating in. I'm a pretty good bowler, but for some reason that day I was off. Even though I brought my own ball, my own glove, my own shoes, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't close out a frame. Normally that would be okay, but one of my other employees was having the night of his life. Strike after strike. He taunted me in front of my team. We all had a good time at my expense. That night I went home and I was in pain. I wanted out of that pain as fast as possible. I started searching online for help. Within minutes, I bought a new ball from one site, new shoes from another. I purchased books, videos, and more. During that moment, I was a hyperactive buyer and I wanted to buy everything I could to make me feel better. You want to be able to identify these people as quickly as possible and help them. If you don't, they will go to your competitor and give them money instead. When they're in pain and want relief, they will spend money to solve the problem now. There is a funny ending to this story. Within a few days, I was out of pain and no longer thinking about bowling. The things I ordered showed up in the mail, and for years I've received emails from these companies trying to get me to buy more things, but I've never been in enough pain to buy anything from them. The window for them closed. I want to make sure that I give people the ability to buy when they want to buy. That is why having upsells and cross-sells inside your funnel is so important. Because if they don't get their itch scratched by you in the moment, they will keep searching and spend their money somewhere else. If you honestly believe that you have the best products and services to help your dream customers, then you owe it to them and yourself to do them. You owe it to yourself and to them to offer upsells inside your funnel. Now that I've identified who my hyperactive buyers are, I will also put them on a separate sub-list that I will market to them differently. I will spend more money to market to someone who has spent $1,000 with me rather than someone who has only spent $10. Phase number 6, age and ascend the relationship. At this point, the initial sales experience is pretty much over. Points 1 through 5 all happen during the point of sale within 5 to 10 minutes, and the next two phases are where the attractive character takes your dream customer by the hand and helps them move up the value ladder. You will be using follow-up funnels, which is secret number 7, to build relationship and then move them into the next funnel in your value ladder. Phase number 7, change the selling environment. Typically, it's difficult to sell super expensive products or services online. Not many people are going to read a sales letter and click the add to cart button for a $15,000 or $100,000 product. Some might, but usually you have to change the selling environment if you want to sell high-ticket products. The most common ways to change the environment are to sell the pricier items over the phone, through direct mail, or at a live event or seminar. The funnels in the back end of your value ladder typically are created in a way to sell people on an idea or concept, but then you have to schedule an appointment to talk to you on the phone. There, you are able to customize what you offer and speak to them about inside a completely different sales environment. People on the phone are more likely to listen closely to an offer. The salesperson has a benefit of live feedback. He or she can overcome objections and help people make up their minds on the fly. When we change the selling environment, we can communicate at a different level, and it becomes easier to move people up to the higher levels of the value ladder. And now you've had a chance to see the 7 phases of a funnel, and I want to encourage you, as you are now a funnel hacker, to see what others are doing inside of each phase. Put on your funnel consultant hat as you do this and see what steps they are missing and what things they could do to make you feel better at each step in the process. If I were to consult with a retail store on how to increase sales, I would look at everything that happens during a customer's experience with the store, including the moment a customer saw the ad, walked in the front door, and received a greeting from the employees. I would analyze what the customer saw that made them choose certain items, what products were point of sale, and how the cashier upsold them during the checkout. I would then analyze the follow-up sequences already in place to bring that customer back. Increasing online sales happens the same way. You need to break out and examine each of the phases your customer passes through in your sales funnel. After you are aware of the distinct steps and break out each into separate experiences, you can then tweak each aspect to get more conversions. In this way, you can help people ascend to the next level of your value ladder. If you're stuck in your business, it's probably because there's a problem somewhere inside of these 7 phases. What's the temperature of the traffic you're driving? What's the pre-frame bridge that you're taking potential buyers through? Are you qualifying subscribers on the landing page? Are you qualifying your buyers on the sales page and your hyperactives on the upsells page? Are you aging and ascending the relationship to match the buyer with the offer they really need in the most? Are you changing the selling environment for your high ticket offers? Most importantly, how are you treating your different groups so that each received a specially tailored experience? So I want to quickly recap the 7 phases again. So phase 1, determine your traffic temperature. Are the people you are sending into your funnel hot, warm, or cold traffic? Phase number 2, set up the pre-frame bridge. So based on the traffic of the type of traffic you're sending, what type of pre-frame bridge do you need to create? Phase number 3, qualify subscribers. Who of all your visitors are willing to give you their email address in exchange for your free offer? Phase number 4, qualify your buyers. Who of all your subscribers are willing to give you their credit card in exchange for your first premium offer? Phase number 5, identify hyperactive buyers. Who are the people who are willing to spend more money now to solve their problems? Phase number 6, age and ascend the relationship. Now that I have their contact information, how do I build their relationship with the attractive character? Phase number 7, change the selling environment. How can I move them up my value ladder by taking them outside of just my online funnels? Now that you've seen the overall strategy of how we take our customers through our funnels, I want to talk to you about a second type of funnel that we call a follow-up funnel. But right now, my friends, I'm closing the book on this chapter of .com Secrets. Remember, if you want to follow along for this season of the Business Building Book Club, you can get your own copy for free. All you have to do is pay for shipping, and you can get your copy today at leadershipmade.com/DCS. That's leadershipmade.com/DCS. Until next time, my friends, connect with me on all of my social platforms. I love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you're working on, what your funnels look like. If you need tweaks, tips, anything like that, let me know. I love to help people with their funnels, their influence, and their traffic. So until next time, my friends, remember, I love you, and be excellent to each other.